it was that was about to blow up their entire world will no longer be an issue. I have his tablet in here because sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do and there's no shame. I will say that my husband does not typically condone my Amazon purchases, but when he saw this, he was like, yes, we need it. Stay calm, stay flexible, and enjoy your trip. What's up, you guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I want to walk you through all the things that I do to prepare for a long car ride with kids. I thought it would be a great time to do this video because I know a lot of you guys are going to be traveling for the holidays. We will actually be making a 6-hour drive from Maryland to Virginia to spend the holidays with my family. And unfortunately, my husband is still doing his away rotations for medical school in Florida. So I will be making the drive solo with my 2.5-year-old and my 6-month-old. This is my third time actually making this drive by myself. So I think I have a pretty good handle on all the things that I can do to set us up for success. Now, of course, things don't always go as planned, especially with kids, but I think there are a few things that we can do to just better equip ourselves and our kids for the trip. So I thought I could just share my tips, my tricks, my hacks, all the things with you guys so that you can have a smooth ride as well. All right, so tip number 1 is to start a running list of things to pack. So I start this list a couple of days before I actually leave for my trip, and then every day, kind of leading up to when I'm leaving, I just add things as I go. So I really try to think about things that I'm grabbing for frequently during the day, things that I use every single day, and as I notice those things, I will just add them to the list, and this just helps make sure that I'm not missing any of the essential things that I need when I'm packing. For me, this includes things like diapers and wipes, obviously, some all-over ointment that I literally use on both of my kids all of the time on like every little rash that they have, Ezra's medication, vitamins, all of our toiletry items, the things that I just grab for every single day that I'm using frequently, because the idea is that if you need them at home every single day, you are likely going to need them on your trip as well. So just go ahead, add them to the list, and make sure that you are not forgetting those essentials. Tip number 2, this is all about packing for the actual drive itself. There are a few essentials that I feel like are absolutely crucial to having a good car ride with kids. The first one is snacks. Snacks, and more snacks. Arguably, this is the most important thing that you are going to bring on this trip. I pack a small cooler of snacks for both Amari and I. I try to just do things that are already pre-packaged or pre-portioned, or that I can just portion myself into little reusable bags and hand back to Amari. I don't have to worry about how much he's eating or trying to prepare it for him while I'm driving, so that just makes things really simple. I usually will pack things like granola bars or like dried fruit packages. What else do I pack? Veggie sticks, things that are just easily accessible and are easy for him to eat on the go. The snacks really just help to make sure that bellies are staying full. You're not having to stop more frequently for food than you really need to. But more importantly, snacks can stop meltdowns in their tracks. If you are a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The minute that you offer a snack, whatever it was that was about to blow up their entire world, will no longer be an issue. All right, so now that we have fed the toddler, if you have a baby, this next tip is going to be all about feeding them, specifically more for my breastfeeding moms. For me, my baby gets extremely distracted when he is nursing. Even at home, when it's like the same stuff that he sees every single day, it's just like so new to him and he cannot stop looking at it, and it makes it really hard to nurse him and to get a good full feeding in sometimes. So the last thing that I want is to be in a car for a long time with a baby who's hungry and who you cannot get to take a full feeding. So I personally choose to give him bottles of express breast milk whenever we are traveling. because it just helps me to make sure that I'm giving him a full feeding. It helps keep him as happy as possible for as long as possible while we are making the trip. The way that I do it is just before we leave, I will pump and then give him that bottle of express breast milk to make sure that we start the trip off with a full belly. And then I will also pack an additional bottle of breast milk. And then whenever we make our first stop, I will give him that bottle. And then just as we are about to leave and continue on our trip, I will hook up my little portable breast pumps and I'll pump for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then that gives me new milk to give to him the next time that we stop. And I just repeat this process until we get to where we're going. Like I said, this just helps me to make sure that he is getting full feeds so that he stays happy as long as possible. Next up is a little changing station. I'll show you guys this little changing station that I have that I really love. I think it's perfect for traveling. It looks like this. I really enjoy this. I think it's so helpful, but it just opens up like this, and then the bottom half is a changing pad, and then there is plenty of room in the top of it for diapers for both kiddos, and then I also have some like diaper rash cream in there and wipes as well. I like to use this when we are traveling because it just kind of helps me make sure that everything I need is all in one place and I don't have to go rummaging through the diaper bag for all the items that I need. And I also like that it has a little detachable changing pad, because when you are in a public bathroom, even though they have those like pull down changing pads, it's always nice to put something down to just kind of keep your baby in as clean of a space as possible. So I really enjoy this. I will link all of the items that I talk about, if I can, in the description box below, so you can check them out if you want. But yeah, so that is my tip on changing. Next up is entertainment. I always keep a little basket of toys in the floorboard of my car, just all the time in general, but when we are going on long trips, I like to add a couple things that will keep their attention and keep them distracted for a little bit longer. So I will show you what I usually will pack for Amari. This is the little basket that I have created for this trip. I don't really keep a ton of stuff in here for my 6-month-old because he really can't do much, but I do have a couple of items in here to kind of keep his attention. I've got some crinkle books like this. I have a rattle. I have a couple of teethers that he really loves, just some things to try to keep him occupied as well. And then for Amari, my 2.5-year-old, he has like a little busy board that he really likes. That's actually in my car right now, so I don't have that to show to you. I'll link it down below. But then I also have him this little like LCD sketch tablet that he really loves. I have his tablet in here. Because sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, and there's no shame over here about that. And then he's got a couple of little books in here. I've got a little bag with some of his favorite cars in it. Really just anything that they enjoy that can occupy them for longer periods of time. I try not to put things that have a lot of different pieces, because I found that if I do that, Amari will drop the pieces in the floor and then he's upset because I can't get to them and he can't get to them, and it's just a big mess. So I find things that are just 1 or 2 pieces that he can't easily drop, so that won't be an issue for us. All right, and the last thing that I am going to recommend to you for your car ride is a dash cam. I know a lot of people have the little mirrors that you like put on the headrest and you can look through your rear view mirror to see them, but I personally don't love those. 1, because you can't see the babies at night, and 2, it's sometimes hard to position them in a way that you can see them clearly, especially when you have 2 kids on opposite sides of the car. So about 6 months ago, I got this little dash cam on Amazon, and it was so easy to hook up. It's so easy to see the kids in the back, and I don't have to like constantly be turning around trying to look at them. And you can see in the dark, which I think is crucial, especially if you're going to be traveling at night. It really just gives a peace of mind, and you can focus more on driving because you just kind of have to glance over to the side every now and then to take a peek at them. I will say that my husband does not typically condone my Amazon purchases, but when he saw this, he was like, yes, we need it. So that is my recommendation to you to be able to safely visualize your kiddos while you're driving. My next tip is to plan your stops. I try to plan my stops ahead of time if at all possible. I try to find places that allow us to just stretch our bodies and a place where I can safely and comfortably feed the baby. And so my stop of choice is Starbucks, for a couple of reasons. The first being that you can typically find them just about anywhere. So I never have trouble finding a Starbucks. And then also it's a great opportunity for you to just refuel, get you a coffee, get the kiddo some treats, whatever you need to do to just kind of reset yourself before you continue on traveling. And then also they typically have some pretty decently clean changing areas in the bathrooms for kiddos. And then their seating areas are always really nice and comfortable as well. So there's a safe, comfortable place to feed the kiddos, stretch your legs, get some treats, all that good stuff. So if you have an opportunity to stop at a Starbucks for your breaks, do it. Okay, so that's all the tips and tricks that I have for the actual car ride itself. And then I do have just a couple of recommendations for the actual stay. So we are gonna talk about those really quickly. First up is all about sleep. So you are going to need a safe place for your babies to sleep. My 2.5-year-old just sleeps in a normal bed and it's fine. I'm usually in the bed with him. But then my baby, I use a pack and play. It's the same pack and play that I actually use as like a bedside bassinet when they're first born in our room. But it's so nice and compact and easy to travel with, and it really does provide a safe place for your kiddos to sleep. My next recommendation is a sound machine, especially if you use one at home. You're gonna wanna have one wherever you're going, especially over the holidays, because I feel like there's usually a lot more people around, there's a lot more noise being made, and it can be harder for your kiddos to take their naps or to sleep at night. Whatever your situation may be, it's nice to be able to just kind of drown out all of the surrounding environmental noises. And then one thing that I got for this trip that I do not typically bring is one of those little portable blackout curtains that you just kind of like suction to the windows. Like I said, this is my first time packing one of those. I feel like every time we are traveling somewhere, I make at least one comment about how I wish we had blackout curtains and how much better the kids would sleep if we did. I will report back on how it goes, but I think it's going to make a big difference. All right, next up is all about packing your clothes. I'm not gonna go super into detail about this. That could be like a whole video on itself, but I did want to share like my top hack for packing clothes, and that is using packing cubes. I actually have the ones that I use here that I'm going to show you. They look like this. They come in a ton of different sizes, but what I like to do is separate the boys' clothes into like daytime and nighttime wear. So in one packing cube, I will put all of their daytime outfits already kind of coordinated and put together, and then in the nighttime one, I'll put all of their PJs and whatever else I need for bedtime. This really just helps me keep things as organized as possible, and I don't have to go rummaging through my entire bag trying to find things that I need. So that is my packing tip for clothes. The other thing that I like to use to pack all of my toiletries in is this baby right here. I take this thing everywhere that we go. It's literally the best toiletry bag that I've ever had. It's big. You can put a lot of stuff in it. I'll see if I can show you guys, but it's super nice. I love the color. It's super aesthetic. It kind of just folds open like this. There are a ton of compartments, which I really love. It has this little hook on it that you can hang on the door or the shower hook, whatever you have accessible to you. I keep all of our toiletry stuff in there. I keep Amari's toothbrush in there. I'll keep our vitamins and things like that in there as well. So it's just a really, really nice, convenient way to store some of those essential items. All right, I think that is it. Those are all my tips, tricks, hacks, must-haves, must-dos to help you have a successful car ride with your kiddos. I know that it can be a little scary and daunting to travel with small kids sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. There are some things that you can do to really just set yourself up for success, a little prepping, a little planning, and you can have a smooth trip. and they often do much better than you think they're going to. So stay calm, stay flexible, and enjoy your trip. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.